Last time you saw GHEEUP, it was a fully functioning drift car. But when you're striving to be the best, you have to continue to take it to the next level. After returning from panel and paint, GHEEUP looks as if it's just rolled off the factory floor. This week we prepare the car for Eddie from EKZ Wiring with a brand new harness front to back. So join us on the road to Matsuri.
Got a bit of a toolbox happening over here, George man. As you can see, we've got GHEEUP back in the shop here. It's come back on the paint and panel. So we're pretty much having our pre-start for this week. As you can see, we've got the boys. They're just having a yarn over the NOS system that's currently fixed on GHEEUP's motor on the billet 2.8 litre. Stroke. Goodness. Freshly rebuilt, ready to go back in GHEEUP it is, yes indeed. Got a bit to do yet. Welcome back to the channel, tuning in again with the boys and the toolbox talks, and yeah, come along.
GHEEUP's back. We said goodbye to it a while ago. It's back now, and it is all flash and fast and red.
And this is GHEEUP and it's red and it's back.
Yeah, you did get a little bit of a sneak peek in the last video, but they'd had it wrapped up because they were doing the undercoat stuff. So here it is. Here is the car. Here is the red. You've probably already seen it, I guess.
This is GHEEUP.
George probably showed you, but so we've got it back on the hoist. We have got the engine in. We've just got the mock-up covers on it at the moment to keep the engine sealed up, and the actual covers are being painted. I think they're actually coming back today. So got that in, got the new mechanical fuel pump on the front there mocked up, and we had Eddie from EKZ Wiring here yesterday measuring up the engine so he can get cracking on the engine harness and subsequently the body harness. So the idea from sort of where the car is at right now is we need to put it back together until pretty much everything electric is in the car, or everything that's going to have a wire is mounted where it's going to be, and then either tomorrow or Thursday-ish we're going to try and get the car down to Eddie so that he can actually do the wiring. But he was here yesterday measuring up, doing all his...
Doing what he does.
Doing what he does. Yeah, doing what he does, measuring everything so that he can sort of start working on it and then sort of rough it out, and then once the car's there he can, you know.
Turned out rather delicious.
Button it all up. We also had Kent here yesterday from Glossworks doing a ceramic coating, doing basically a paint protection in the engine bay before we started working on it. He was saying it's rated like 2,000 degrees Celsius or something like that. So some pretty good stuff. Engine's in, new plasma man injectors are in, gearbox is also in now. So pretty much just going to keep
mocking up,
keep going, keep putting stuff on it really until it looks like a car again.
We don't have even close to everything to make it look like a car yet.
No. Hopefully Tyson will have the front bar, guards, doors, that sort of stuff will get dropped off sooner rather than later, but there's still plenty we can do until that point, so we'll just keep doing that. Look, the car's back and the car's red.
The car's here, it's GHEEUP, you wouldn't pick it. It's gone red.
The little red rockets.
Yeah, some wheels dropped off there, George, man. A couple of tyres for skid.
So, as you can see, got a little package in the mail. Couple of wheels, Matsuri prep. So, we've got five pallets of Zeknovas dropped off all in 265 35 18s. Treadwear is 240. They are SuperSports RS, Sports Series, black in colour, nipples on all of them, and that's it. get some tyres.
So update on GHEEUP, we've got some bits in.
Bits and pieces almost.
Bits and pieces in.
Are in.
So the engine's in. New fancy covers are on. We've got the fuel pump, new mechanical fuel pump mocked up. Got the brake booster. Daniel and Andy have pretty much just finished up getting the new wires fab in the front.
And coils, new BC coils.
Yeah, BC remote res coil.
They're remote res, yeah.
They're remote res.
They're remote res.
Or they're external res, they're not remote res.
Yes, they're an external reservoir.
External reservoir BC racing coils, front and back.
Got the old brakes off the front because we're putting some Alcoms up front.
Yep.
Waiting for them to get here.
Pretty much what we're about to do is go through everything that we can find that either needs to be cleaned or painted.
A bit of prep.
And clean or paint it. And then I think next thing we're pretty much going to do is hang the intercooler once the mounts are dry. Hang the intercooler, put the new pipes on, or put the old pipes on.
When's your turbo get back?
Turbo this afternoon apparently.
So I kind of need
or
that
in the
just
morning.
to do this, to finish off
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm pretty confident the other one will go.
Yeah. So we're waiting for that, waiting for the manifolds getting Cerakoted and the front turbo housings getting powder coated. So we're kind of hanging there. At the moment, we're basically just doing anything that we can do right now, which involves a lot of sort of jumping around, doing bits and pieces, and it's pretty.
And it's always the things that you thought after, like you know, I should have painted that.
Yeah. So
this here though, that's hot.
Yeah, polished up.
RB,
It looks good, eh? Yeah. Anyway, so that's the update.
Afternoon guys, we've got a bit going on here at the moment. The S15's turned out to be a little bit bigger of a job than we first anticipated. Most of the black parts that you can see that are going on, they fit up quite nice. It's just little parts like these front guards. Trying to line up these and get all these gaps nice. Just doing a few the front the side skirts here. They're not made to go with this particular guard, so there was no section through here, so we've sort of moulded up a little spot there and fiberglass him up. So we'll cut that all in, glass it all in from the inside, and then start doing our shaping and get him all together there. We've got all the rear bar on, boot, everything's starting to line up and come along quite nicely. We've got nut certs in behind everything with little steel brackets behind everything to brace it all, so we're not just pulling on the fiberglass. That's what actually causes a lot of star fracturing in fiberglass, is not bracing things from behind. You pull on a small spot and it'll stretch through the material. Tyso's been mucking around. She's got a fair bit of damage in behind that pillar there. Yeah, this side's taken a little bit of, you can see part of the damage up here where it's been squashed. So yeah, it's taken a lot to sort of try and get that front end lined up and sitting into place. But we're cruising along, we're getting there now. We're getting very close to starting the major part of the bodywork, and then we're just sort of cruising along at the moment, getting everything lined up, gaps nice. We've got to fill the fuel filler. It's one of our next jobs, the inside of here. I've got to do a little bit of fiberglassing. The carbon bonnet's a little bit all over the shop. We've had a little bit of drama trying to get the bonnet to line up and clip into place. A little bit of bar work up the front here, sort of been a bit of a pain in the bum to try and get this to line up, but it's just because of the tube working behind there. A bit of work to do on the engine bay. Tyso's got it all sanded back to bare metal and treated so it doesn't rust and carry on. That's about it for this week. This week's been a very time-consuming week. This bar, I've had it on and off probably 4 40 times in the last 2 days. So yeah, as some people probably already know, it's very time consuming trying to get things to line up so it looks neat enough. It is just a drift car, but we want it to present well, especially if things start coming off. We want people to see the work that we've done underneath is. But yeah, no, she's looking the part. It's coming along real cool. It's going to be one hell of an S15. Pretty keen to see some colour go down on it. And you just wait for the colour. She's going to be mind blown. She is out of this world. See how we go.
The gold side, and if Manny's not ready.
Just stick it, yeah.
I thought you meant you were going to hang me upside down.
No, upside down. Just sit there. Whee!
You're crazy.
GHEEUP has literally just driven out the door. No, it didn't. GHEEUP has literally just been pushed out the door.
Pushed out the door.
Onto Tyson's tow truck. So it is on its way right now down to Eddie to get wired from EKZ Wiring. So spent the last little bit, the last portion, I'm puffed.
Yeah, we did a bit.
Basically spent the last portion of the video getting the car ready to go to wiring. So pretty much anything electronic.
Anything that has a bit of power running to it.
Including sensors and stuff like that. So all the sensors for the engine, power steering, because it's electric power steering, all that sort of stuff, fans, etc., etc.
Everything you can plug a wire into,
yeah,
I'd say. Yeah.
Pretty much got that all done. So because the Nexus is actually a PDM this time around, we are going to be utilising the full extent of the Nexus's PDM capabilities. So I believe the only thing that won't be controlled by the Nexus is actually the hazard lights, because it needs to have a flasher and it needs to be able to work with the key off. So obviously if you've got the key off, the ECU doesn't have power.
Copy.
So everything except for the hazard lights will be controlled by the Nexus. That includes headlights, indicators, interior lights, wipers, all that sort of stuff will all be controlled via the Nexus.
The lot.
So it'll all be brand new wiring front to back in this thing, which will mean that we won't have any little, well, not that we've had any little niggly issues, but it just means that we will continue to not have any little niggly issues. So that basically means with GHEEUP out of the shop, it's time to get on to
the next one.
GHEEUP's gone. GHEEUP's off to get wiring. It'll be back probably a week there-ish.
Yeah.
I believe the S15 is also going to be back in, what's today? Monday. A couple days, I think.
Just a couple.
So we're going to have the S15 back and the S13, so we're going to pump as much as we can out on these two as well. And then swap GHEEUP for the S15, get it back. But for the meantime, we've got a couple days, a day or two probably, where we can just get as much done on this thing as we can. So that's the plan. We've got some new seats to go in it, new steering wheel, tidy up all the, the wiring in the engine bay, degrease it all, get it all nice and clean, get some old stuff out, ready for some new stuff to go in. And yeah, that's the general gist.
That's about it.
So
that's all we're up to.
See you on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. And we'll see you all at Matsuri.
No, we'll see you in the next video.
We'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next video. But
get excited.
Also
Matsuri.
see you at Matsuri.
I bought a truck too.
Yeah, word.
Show them my truck.
Look at the truck.
Honk.
That's a lorry, brother.
It's a lorry.
If I've ever seen a lorry, that's one right there.
Anyway, that's all right. Hooroo, see you, bye.
Hooroo.
5 of them, stand them up.
Yep.
Like upright, across, and then warm milk.
Yeah.
And then like probably like 2 to 3.
So you warm your milk up first?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and then pour it through the sides of the Weet-Bix so that the milk goes the whole way through, so you don't end up with some dry.
Yeah.
And then like 2 to 3, depending how many Weet-Bix I was having, teaspoons of sugar spread across the top.
Yeah, right.
And then dig in.
Can't think you warm your milk up first.
Yeah, I warm the milk up first. What do you put milk in and then warm
I just
them
put
up?
it there.
So, well, I never really thought of that. I
Chuck
guess.
it in, put it in. Yeah.
See, a lot of people say warming up the milk at all is wrong.
Why?
But those people aren't our friends.
Why? It's much nicer.
It is much better.
Yeah, much
I don't want to
nicer
eat
to
cold,
warm it.
dry
I'll even chuck some
Weet-Bix.
Fruit
If
Loops
you don't
in with
heat the
10
milk
seconds
up,
and warm it up.
if you don't heat
it's
it up,
not boiled. It's just warmer.
Well, if you don't heat it up, the fucking Weet-Bix don't soak the milk
No, it
up.
doesn't.
Then it's just dry Weet-Bix and milk.
And f that.
They don't blend.
No.
No. F that.
Anyway.